Very well. So this new topic is the past perfect, right? We something that can help you here to understand, right? Is that past perfect is another kind of past, right? So imagine that we have two events in the past, and one event you know when it happened, right? So the first event is okay, go to work. Okay, I go to work. That's the first event. Another event could be have breakfast. Okay, so we have two events. Now you try to decide which one happened first. Which do you think is more logical to happen first? Go to work or have breakfast?
Have breakfast.
Yeah. So even though the two events are in the past, right, you want to make them, you want to write this sentence in past, you have to differentiate between the sentences that happened first and then after that one, right? For example, I had, ok, entonces la oración, ¿qué pasa primero? Primero vamos a utilizar pasado perfecto, ok. And the second one is simple past. So if you have two events in the past, tenemos dos eventos en el pasado, uno va a ser con pasado simple y el otro va a ser con pasado perfecto. El que haya pasado primero o el más antiguo, past perfect. The second one, el más actual, el más cercano al presente, utiliza simple past. All right. So the past perfect is usually called, también se le llama como el pasado del pasado, right? El pasado perfecto. Because yeah, it's like that. It's like you have two events, but one of them happened before and one another. Okay. So for example, here you would make the sentence like this. I had breakfast. Te voy a explicar por qué those had breakfast. By the time I went to work, all right. So this sentence, right, says ya había desayunado para el tiempo que me fui al trabajo o para la hora que me fui a trabajar, right? Or you can replace by the time y podemos poner before. I had breakfast before I went to work. Había desayunado antes de ir al trabajo, all right? So this auxiliary verb have, right, is different from tenía, right? Este have no quiere decir tenía, es un verbo auxiliar, right? And let's remember the present perfect. In present perfect, the auxiliary verb is, remember, what is the auxiliary verb in the present perfect?
Have.
Exactly, so we see, I have had breakfast. So in this case, you say he desayunado, right? So this is the present perfect. You use have no como el verbo tener, sino como un verbo auxiliar, right? I have. So in this case, the auxiliary verb is have. El verbo auxiliar ahora que vamos a utilizar es have. Okay, so have, it means like yo había, tú habías, él había, ellos habían, habíamos, right? That's the past perfect, okay? So you use have because it means, right, the auxiliary verb in the second half. Cuando el segundo have es el verbo tener desayuno, desayunar, right? Porque saben que para decir desayunar necesito utilizar have breakfast, okay? So in this case, had breakfast, all right? Entonces, este es simplemente el pasado participio, que ese es otro elemento que necesito para hacer el pasado, utilizar el pasado perfecto. I have had breakfast before I went to work. Entonces, este had sería yo había, y este had es de tenido, right? Había tenido desayuno. Bueno, o había desayunado, all right? Very well. So, this is the past perfect. So, as I told you, past perfect is just another kind of past. It's like you have something in the past, but you have another thing that is older than you did it before. Entonces, es algo que haces antes de otro antes, right? I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, the past is used when you did something before you did anything else, all right? So again, you have go to work. This is, let's say that you have two events, go to work, and the oldest one will be past perfect, and the newest one, or the closest to the present, is the simple past, right? So in this case, both sentences, now if you separate the sentences before, right? Entonces nos damos cuenta que tengo una oración antes y después de la palabra before, right? Es decir, esta es una oración, pero en realidad es una oración compuesta porque está compuesta de otras dos oraciones simples, right? So in this case, we have one sentence before, una sentence antes de before, right? I have had breakfast, y tengo otra oración después de before. I went to work, right? So in this case, two sentences are in the past. Las dos oraciones están en el pasado, pero una quedó más al pasado, right? That is the past perfect. So the past perfect, remember, is a past action that happened before one another. Okay? So, all right. So that's how we use it, right? We are going to check some examples here. Do you know the volcano that we have here is the Krakatoa? I think it's in Indonesia. I think it's in Indonesia. Yeah, the Krakatoa. So, okay, we're going to read sentences related to the Krakatoa. So let's read it. Please, Nubia, can you read the affirmative sentence?
Yes, teacher. I was interested in Krakatoa because I had read about it.
Excellent. So you have two sentences, right? One is to be interested, and the other one you read a book. Entonces, aquí en esta oración hay dos oraciones en pasado. So the first one happened before the other. So there are two sentences, there are two events in the past, but one of them happened before another. Okay, so Nubia, which one is the oldest event? You being interested or reading the book?
Read a book.
Exactly. Right? Entonces, ¿qué pasó primero? Estar interesado o leer el libro. Primero se leyó el libro, después se interesó. Right? So that's why you use the past perfect for the oldest sentence. Right? La más antigua, la oración más que menciona el evento más al pasado. So we would use the past perfect. Now, be interested, esta oración también está en pasado. Well, I was interested, but you will use it for what is the closest to the present, all right? Very well, so he would say like, me interesé en Krakatoa porque había leído un libro, right? Okay, so you're seeing that you read the book before you were interested, all right? Now, please, Itzel, help us read the next one. Now you have to complete with the auxiliary verb. The volcano, please. Okay, maybe Gusli, can you help us, please, complete this sentence. Let's read it and you can complete it. Okay. Maybe Nubia again, you can help us, please. The volcano.
Yes, teacher. The volcano had been very quiet for several years before the eruption.
Okay. So the volcano have been. So that what I was explaining, right, about the past perfect, because this topic is called past perfect. So you use it with the auxiliary verb have and a verb in past participle. All right. So here the volcano had is like el volcán había, right? Como en el presente perfecto, el auxiliar es have, right? Por ejemplo, si aquí reemplazáramos had por have, entonces la oración diría el volcán ha sido, right? But when I use have, it means había sido. So that's more in the past. This topic, like I said, it's called the past perfect. So again, you have two events. The volcano had been fairly quiet for several years before the eruption. Entonces, el segundo evento es la erupción, right? So before the eruption, this happened. So this is the sentence. This is the event that is the oldest one. All right. Okay. El volcán había estado bastante callado o tranquilo por varios años antes de la erupción. Okay. The next one in negative. Well, so, you know, the past perfect is very easy to use because you don't have any other conjugations, right? So you only say, I had, you have, right? You have, he, she, it, have, right? Doesn't change. All the pronouns, they have, we have, all the pronouns, they use have, which is the auxiliary verb, okay? So not much complication, right? It's only have. And the second part is the verb in past participle. And you have a sentence in past perfect, okay? Very well. So in the negative, you only say hadn't, right? That would be the negative, hadn't or had not. So it says, for example, I just read about Krakatoa. I hadn't heard about it before then. Okay. So here it says, right? Yo no había escuchado hablar de ello antes, right? I hadn't heard about it before. Okay. Please help us, Goosley. Maybe you can help us with the negative. Next one, please.
Sorry, teacher. At this moment, I cannot talking because I'm driving right now.
Okay, safe drive.
Yeah, sorry, teacher.
No, don't worry. Maybe we can have Heidi, please. Can you help us read the next one?
Yes,
Because
teacher.
I only received the message from Miguel that he can't, but can you read the next one, please?
Miguel is drive too.
He's driving. Okay,
Yes.
good.
I visited Indonesia last year. I hadn't
Exactly.
there before, so it was new to me.
Exactly. I hadn't. Very well. So in the negative, we only see the D, not like D, but more like a soft R. Entonces, en vez de hadn't, intentamos decir como hadn't, right? I hadn't. I hadn't. Now, the second thing is that we don't actually say something like I hath, right? Hath no sería así, sino es más como una combinación entre la E y la A. So you say had, como en have, No decimos have, right? So you say have and had. So that's how we pronounce it. Okay. Very well. So that's about the past perfect. Now, what we're going to do next is to learn how to use narrative tenses, right? So now you know all the possible tenses to talk about the past. You know the simple past. You know the past continuous. You know the past perfect, and you know the present perfect. So these are the narrative tenses, right? And we use them when we talk about the past. I'm going to show you another tense that we're missing, and is the simple present, right? So sometimes we use the simple present when we talk about the past. It's a little bit crazy, but actually it makes sense because we use it in Spanish, right? We're going to see it in one moment, so we have the complete narrative tenses. Okay. Well, so we're going to complete these exercises first to see if you have this idea clear, and then I'm going to show you the narrative tenses. Okay, please, Nubia, help us with number 1.
Yes, teacher. I had the past participle is read or read.
The past participle, okay, en presente es read, en pasado read, y en pasado participe también read.
Okay, I had read about the volcanic eruption of Pompeii, but I didn't know much about Krakatoa.
Okay, excellent. So I had read. All right, so había leído. Okay, excellent. Please help us, Itzel, with number 2.
Yes, teacher. Alan was surprised when he heard the Turner when had the storm Beijing.
Okay, well, in this case, the verb, that's why, right, it's important that you guys study the verbs, right? The regular verbs in past and past participles. So we have begin is the present,